God every day, of course, but I'm pretty sure all I knew was that God created the world. I knew about Adam and Eve, and that was pretty good. I thought God was a distant God, someone who I just prayed to before I ate, someone I prayed to if I needed something. So that's how I grew up with my relationship with God. There was no relationship. I also had a lot of insecurity growing up, I know. First of all, because I'm a girl, we were looked at a certain way. So my mom, she also always used to make fun of me, calling me fat and chubby. It just getting me so bad and getting me so chubby. And she would break up the words to make it sound like cute nicknames. And she would call me that in public. That's not okay. So growing up, she would always make those type of jokes in a non-loving way. It really affected me and made me look at myself as if I weren't good enough. And that's something I had trouble with insecurity. I also had trouble fitting in. I always wanted to fit in a certain group by dressing a certain way or talking a certain way. I would have a really big mouth. And if any of you guys saw my sister's picture, I hope none of you did, you would know how I tried to fit in by wearing that. I wore no picture, right? I had some nice Jordans. I had basketball shorts. I was trying to figure out which gel to keep in my face. I would wear a big hoodie. So through middle school up to high school, I would change the way I dressed and change the way I talked just to fit in. It was really, really embarrassing. I look back at it now. I know John and Richard on TV. All my old pictures are down. I hope they're great. And then they talk now.
Yeah, burn more coffee.
So those are the main things I went through as I was growing up. I didn't really know God. I just was a title Christian because of where I went to church with my parents. And then freshman year, my sister, Allison brought her to church, so then she finally got me to refuge, which is cool because I was like, wow, I get to hear about God in English, and I finally get to understand what he's saying. So I just feel that I finally got to learn more about God, and once I came to refuge, I felt really welcome. Do you guys agree? You guys feel welcome here?
Yeah.
I felt really welcome, and I finally got to learn about God and have a real relationship with him, one that I never had before. And after coming here, I wanted to change my lifestyle. And what I mean by that is, I knew my sins, I knew everything I did in secret. I wanted to change that around. And something about that we need to understand is keeping sin in the dark versus bringing it out into the light. Is the enemy wants us to believe that we should be keeping everything in the dark, that we should be ashamed because no one else does it. But what does the Bible say? No one's sin is okay, you're not the only one who's found that sin, first of all, and no sin is greater than another sin. So, for example, my addiction to alcohol could be the same as someone's addiction to pornography, or my problem with lying to my parents is the same as your problem with cursing. No sin is greater than another sin. We have to think of that when we are struggling with feeling shame about a sin. So the reason I brought that up is because after I went to the second retreat, have you guys gone to the retreat?
Yes.
Going to the second retreat, I really learned about shame and how that has been putting that line in my head about shame and how I should be keeping things to myself. I used to be really introverted and really quiet and really closed off to other people. I would always be in my room and I would never share anything with anyone. I would probably share things with a boyfriend if I had one at the time. And yeah, that's not good. So then after second retreat, I got to open up and I just want to be honest with you guys. The second retreat, I got to really bring things out into light and really be transparent with some of the leaders. I finally opened up about how when I was younger, growing up first, I was molested by a family member for a couple of years growing up, and And that really affected me because I grew up feeling angry and depressed and sad, thinking that I could have done something different to change that. And that's something that really affected me because I think that's why I was so quiet and closed off with the walls, because I felt like every guy was just out to hurt me, that every guy was the same because of the one guy that hurt me. So I put this pretty image of every guy is just like that guy. So not only did that cause me to feel bitter and even hate the person that hurt me, it made me feel that way towards every guy. And that's something I'm still working on, is to not judge other guys because I'm not perfect, so God's still working on me with that. But after I was able to open up about that, at first I was relieved. I got something off my shoulders, and now God can heal me. But after I knew that I had to take some steps and steps towards justice, because after someone does that to you, you can't just forgive them and walk away, because what they do is criminal. So I had to take steps like talking to the police, social services, and confronting them, because that's what you have to do in this situation, because they can hurt you enough. So after that, I felt a lot of regret. I felt scared because that's your family member, and the lie family was telling me, why are you doing that? You're betraying them pretty much, because they're your family and you're turning them in, you're going to ruin their life. That's what I kept hearing because I felt so much regret. I was so scared because of that. And just God gave me so many people in my life to push me forward to Him. He gave me leaders, and my sister helped me a lot with this. In that moment, it was like a bad situation for me because I couldn't see the whole picture, basically. I couldn't see what God planned for me. And I know I do that a lot when I'm in a situation that doesn't look good at the moment. I tend to question God, why did I do this? Why is this happening? But we have to remember, we can't see the big picture. At the moment, I only saw one little glimpse, what I needed to do at that time. But I didn't see what God had in store for me. Healing, a lot of healing that's gone through my life, through opening up and bringing that out into life. And I'm still working on the healing part about my fear for strangers, let me say that. But God has brought a lot of healing over our family and in my relationship with that person. And I'm just so thankful for that, because God has turned that around. God. Yeah, God really turned our lives around, and He turned mine around, not only for that situation, but this past year has been a new season. I think for all of us, it's been a new season, and especially for me, as I can understand, because I don't really mind stuff. This year has been different. I got out of a really long relationship, and God showed me through that I was really dependent on that person. I didn't have any girls in my life because I just depended on that one person. And through that, God showed me what true accountability is. And I think true accountability is someone, first of all, same sex. It could be either same age, so it's like friendship accountability or a leader accountability, which is older. And I know that it helps me a lot because I was able to be open and honest with them and really be unashamed, because since Jesus, like the song says, Jesus died on the cross for us, we shouldn't have any shame in our lives because of what He did for us already. So I just want to encourage you guys to have accountability partners, because if we're not opening up to them, if we're not showing them the things that are in our dark places, and if we're not bringing those out, then what is it going to do in us? if we just keep those things inside, they're just going to fester away and eat at us if we don't bring those out. And it's not just our secret sins or any of that, it's also the lies that we think, the lies that we believe. We need to open up and bring those out into the light so that we know that those things aren't right. So that we can tell the enemy, I know these things are wrong, and I'm not going to keep it inside anymore. I'm going to bring it out to the light so that God can do his work through these people and through me. So that's just really, really, really big part of my life is accountability. I believe in it so much that God puts these people in your life so that you can use them, not use them as like in a bad way, but use the tools God has placed in your life for your good. So, I have a quote that I want to read to you guys. Okay. So occasionally we let them in. We open the folds of our innocent breed and give access to the darkest parts of us. We enter the sea, and it's terrifying. And sometimes they bump into the wrong nerves, they say in a callous, insensitive mark, they ridicule a faint notion we have. They poke at our teams just a bit. It hurts pretty bad, and we push them out and force us back. We remind ourselves, this is why I don't let anyone in. And we run. It's right here that most people apologize and crazy. They feel terrible. They were trying to figure out how to navigate the long and pathway of your limitless story. It's like floating a tiny flashlight in the cave of a new world. They didn't need to forgo those old memories. They didn't need to postpone your dreams. They considered it an honor that they held the key, even for a few something minor. Intimacy takes work. Trust, wounds, hurt, spoken in your heart. And that takes time. It takes more than a single chance. Of course, we can close the doors at any second, but we know it just won't work. But there are many opportunities if we have trust them a little longer. We set the temple and spoke like water. The good is in our hands. Vision will be built. New stories are made. You find your hands floating on air. They begin to traverse the folds of your heart with ease, and you learn to think of things which give life, which gives freedom, which grows dreams. Intimacy is born out of suffering. But further from the past, there is so much light, so much laughter, so much sex and horizon together. That's what I actually read. And I think that's really what accountability is about. You can't expect to have perfect accountability and expect to have someone who's always going to make you feel good. There's going to be wounds that need to be exposed before you heal. Like you talk about scars. We can't be afraid to be open with one another. We can't be afraid to show each other our most vulnerable parts. If we really want to change. And it's possible.